Here, ready? Going live. I think,
you didn't
I didn't hit the actual go live. I didn't hit the actual go live button. I think we're on right now, but I'm going to wait till it pops up on my phone to make sure. It says we're on.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up on my iPad real quick and see what's good.
It still says waiting on my phone, but it's always like 10 seconds delayed. So let me just make sure something pops up. I'm here to see the Beaver, says Toast. You came for the wrong guy. I'm here to see a bunch of losing prop bets.
No, that's not even the case. NFL, I will take the heat. I just stink in the NFL right now. But NBA, I mean, I'm turning it on lately. I'm catching a groove.
Toast.
It's on my iPad. It's on.
All right, cool. Toast says we're live. I trust Toast. Guys, this is my first time using OBS. I've never used this software before, so I hope it works. And I hope it's not skipping. I hope the audio is all right. This is kind of a trial run. Obviously, as you can see on the screen, this program gives us a lot more options. You got the logos on the side moving. This in the bottom left corner, that's what I wanted to add because I know a lot of people like my channel for those pie charts. So moving forward, all the live streams will have those for every game that we do, at least for mine. I don't know if we have the resources to do that for college basketball and Toast show, but so for the NBA show and the NFL show, we should have pie charts for every single game down there. They look a little small. I wonder if people can see those. Whatever. So in the bottom middle of the screen, you can see we're having a hell of a week. I mean, I do the NFL and the NBA, but I'm holding us back. I've been sucking picking NBA picks, and I know that's not very reassuring because I'm about to dish out 10 of them. But it's been a rough week in the NBA. And if you look, Toast and Sean are absolutely slaughtering college basketball. Stu's hot in the NHL, almost 5 units this week. And then, of course, I'm sure you know we just had a monster NFL and then swept Thursday Night Football, too. So, overall spirits are high. My NBA spirits, not so high. But a perfect night to turn things around, right? So let's get started. The first game's Toronto at Orlando. Oh, no, I didn't even think. All right, let's try this. I didn't even think about typing our picks on the screen. All right, let's add text. Oh. Let's try. I'm doing this on the fly. I have no idea. Okay, so Magic plus 8.5. I know. Oh, man, it's coming over huge.
You know what I think? I would probably just, where there's like little dots are next to our names? I would just like put the team name there.
I'm just going to do like this for now. And this was something I forgot. I will make this like cooler as the show like moves forward. I'll work on this tonight and I'll make like a cool. But I'm sure everyone can see that. It says Magic plus 8.5. That's who I'm on. I'm on Orlando. All right, let's grip my notes out here. So, first off, let's address the fact that Toronto is laying 8 points on the road, 8.5. The reason that's significant is the Raptors are just 3-9 straight up on the road this year. This team's not been good on the road. They're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 road games. Toronto has only won one road game by more than 8 points this entire season, and that was against the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm pretty sure Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson didn't play in that game. So just the idea of laying 8.5 points on the road with the Raptors is pretty terrifying to start. Yes, Orlando did lose 9 in a row before beating the Clippers the other night. They did lose 9 in a row, but did you see the stretch of schedule? At Indiana, Philadelphia, at Brooklyn, Atlanta, Cleveland, at Toronto, Milwaukee. Like, this is not, there's not one team in their last 10 that has a record below 500. In fact, they're all above 500. 10 games in a row against teams with a winning record. There's no easy outs there, and they just beat the Clippers the other night. During that stretch, the Orlando Magic are 6th in the NBA in free throw rate, and the reason I like that number is because that happens to be the current weakness of the Raptors' defense. They're all the way back at 22nd in opponent free throw rate. Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner combined to average 15 free throw attempts a game. I can see them getting to the line 20 or more tonight. Always good to get to the free throw line when you're getting 8.5 points. The biggest area of concern for Orlando will be keeping the Raptors off the offensive glass. That's everyone's concern against the Raptors. But is that enough for me to lay 8.5 points on the road? Of course not. I'm on the Magic. Where are you at, Prop Beaver?
Yeah, so I'm kind of in the similar boat to you. I'm not picking a side in this game, but one of my favorite props of the day is OG Anunoby under 19 and a half points, minus 114 on Barstool for a full unit. There's a reason that other books are vigging this to minus 135, and FanDuel already has this at 18 and a half, so they obviously don't want people betting the under. This guy just had 32 against Orlando the other day, just 3 games ago. Now they're willing to move his total down. So what is the issue? Why are they moving this total down? Well, if you look with Fred VanVleet and Siakam on the court, Anunoby is just 1-6 to this total on the road, averaging just 12.6 points per game. And on top of that, Orlando was bad in their last meeting against Toronto on the road, but at home, that defense has been much better. And on top of it, they are great against shooting guards. Over the last 30 days, they're allowing the 6th fewest points per game and 2nd lowest field goal percentage. And the same applies to the last 2 weeks, as they're allowing the 3rd fewest points per game and 4th lowest field goal percentage to opposing shooting guards. The books are pretty much begging us to take this over. I refuse to do so. Give me that under.
So that was Anunoby under what?
Under 19 and a half points.
Okay, I can get with that.
Yeah, I was going sharp there.
I apologize for the shoddiness of that, but you can see OG Anunoby under 19 and a half points for Mr. Prop Beaver. Let's move right along to game 2. Wizards at Pacers. So I thought I was going to be on Indiana here. I'm not at all. Let me put my pick up. So I'm on the Wizards plus 5. I like the Wizards first half plus 2.5, and I like the under at 233.5. Now, at first glance, they might all look like square bets, and in a way they are, but I have good reasoning for them. Well, let me put some background on it so you can see those a little better. All right, hopefully you can see those picks. I don't fucking know. All right. Anyway, I'll fix that for next one. But, all right, so this is an absolute terrible spot for the Indiana Pacers. They're returning home from a 7-game road trip. 7 road games in a row, which is the ultimate flat spot when it comes to betting the NBA. I hate that I have to do this because I've loved cashing on the Pacers this year, and Washington's banged up. Still no Bradley Beal, still no DeLon Wright for Washington, but a 7-game road trip. The Pacers haven't been home in 2.5 weeks. They haven't seen their wives, their girlfriends, their kids. They did have 1 day off, but that's not enough after 2.5 weeks. That's why I have the Wizards first half in here, because I could definitely see them coming out flat. The Wizards haven't been good in the past couple weeks, but analytically, they've actually been playing pretty good offense. In fact, the Wizards' offense is 5th in the NBA in overall efficiency in the past 2 weeks. Yeah, the defense is all the way back at 27th. Let's acknowledge that. But the Wizards are scoring at an efficient rate. And everyone has it in their head that this Pacers offense is high energy, electric, up and down the floor, 130 points a night, right? That's what we think of when we think of this Pacers team. That has not been the case. During this road trip, that offense has fallen off. In fact, they're 29th in the NBA in the last 2 weeks in offensive efficiency. Yes, a large part of that is because they were on this long road trip, but it's not that they're just going to get home from a 7-game road trip and all of a sudden, hey, we play offense again. It's such a flat spot for the Pacers, and that's where the value is for me. I expect the Pacers offense to get back on track, but not right away. I think we're going to see a pretty sloppy offensive game on both sides, which is why I'm taking the points and I'm taking the under. Prop Beaver?
Yeah, so when we spoke on the phone earlier, I was at a 10 in terms of confidence level on the Pacers. That is down to a 3.
Because you heard my expert analysis, that's why.
No, it was actually because the line moved 1.5 points in the other direction, which did not make me
did
feel
it move?
great
I didn't even see.
Yeah, so it moved to 4, actually.
Oh, I see it's at 4.5 now. So this line is on the move, despite the action being on Indiana. Ooh, I love it. I love it. My confidence level just went from like a 6 to an 8.
Exactly. Yeah. So my confidence level has gone down. I will definitely give credence to coming off of a road trip. That's always a tough spot to bet any team. But I also somewhat think it could be a little bit of a good thing. Yes, they're going to be rusty at first, but this team is just so much better at home. They're 7-4 against the spread, and on top of it, their last 7 meetings against Washington at home, they've covered 6 of them. Everybody wants to talk about how bad the Pacers are right now. I mean, guess who else isn't covering spreads whatsoever? The Washington Wizards. They're 1-7 straight up in their last 8 games, and 2-8-1 against the spread in their last 10. On top of that, the Wizards have specifically sucked on the road, covering just one of their last 6 road games. Porzingis has been balling lately. We all see that. Honestly, I'm going to give credence to him, and he has a nice matchup tonight against a Pacers team that allows the most points to centers and is 5th worst in free throw rate. I will definitely give that to Porzingis, and I'm going to give that a bit of a look later. The problem is we don't know if Porzingis is playing. We don't know if Turner's playing. And I'm just not seeing anything from the Wizards to suggest to me that not only they could win this game, but cover that spread. Halliburton has diced these dudes up in the 2 meetings they've had this season. And now there's no Beal. There's no DeLon Wright to cover him. I'm not loving the spot for the Wizards, even though the Pacers are so public. I would put a very light half unit on it. Go Pacers.
I like the Wizards in the upset, and the reason I'm blowing this up here so you guys can see it a little better. The reason that he's concerned is right here. You could see all this money on the Pacers, but it doesn't show it on this graphic. This line has just dropped. It's even down to 4 on some books.
Yeah.
So usually that's pretty terrifying if you're on the side of the Pacers. It usually means the books have all of a sudden really like the Wizards, or there's some injury news coming that they haven't showed us yet. You know how crazy the NBA is with that shit.
And in the NBA, I would say more than any other sport, I take the line movement and stuff like that pretty religiously. I respect the book's knowledge of these.
Right, because they're like, there's so much information and there's so many last minute updates that it's like, you can never expect to have more resources than the books. Like, you can't in any sport, but at least when I'm capping an NFL game, I have a week to look at everything.
Yeah.
So when Sunday morning comes, yeah, obviously the sportsbooks are still going to have way more resources than me, but at least I feel like I have all my bases covered. Like, I've covered every angle.
Exactly.
The NBA, it's impossible to do that for 10 games on a daily basis. There's just not enough time in the day. Mm-hmm. Next game, Knicks at Hornets. Knicks at Hornets. I hate that I have to do this, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, if there's ladies in here.
Hornet up, baby. Buzz City.
I'm fading my guys.
Buzz City.
I'm fading my guys. The Hornets suck, too. It really hurts to do this, but... So it's very... you know what? The line moved back up to 3.5. So let me take... I want that extra half point. How do I... Still learning this software. My bad, guys.
Still going through the motions. People.
I have to see what happens is I have to learn this, and then I have to teach it to him so he can then do it in the future.
Yeah,
so
this could be fun.
All right, so I'm taking that extra half point. I'm on the Hornets. I would love to take the Knicks. If you've been watching this YouTube channel, you know that I'm a pretty big Knicks fan. But the line dropping from 5 to 4.5 to 4 to 3.5 to 3, now back at 3.5, despite the public being heavy on the Knicks, is pretty terrifying. See, you can see down in the bottom left here, look at how the 71% of the public tickets on the New York Knicks as of 1 p.m. Everyone's betting the Knicks, and there's no stranger to why. The Knicks have won, and it's no secret as to why. The Knicks have won a couple big games recently, and then the Hornets are still no LaMelo Ball, still no Gordon Hayward. Terry Rozier and Kelly Oubre have been the main pieces on offense for Charlotte, and they've been insanely inefficient. In the last 10 games, these two guys, Kelly Oubre, Terry Rozier, they combine to shoot 37 of 128 from 3. That's 28.9%. So, like, how can you bet Charlotte? Like, where's the offense coming from? And then to add on top of that, the Knicks are first in the NBA in the last 2 weeks defending the three-point shot. But here's the thing. Here are the two major angles that get me to the Hornets here. Because the Hornets' defense sucks as well, by the way. We can go on about how bad the defense has been. But check these. I have 2 mismatches for you that point toward the Hornets. Number 1, Charlotte, despite being absolutely awful defending the three-point shot and the mid-range shot, they're actually second in the NBA defending the rim. Now, you might be thinking, yo, Sauce, who gives a shit? The Knicks just shoot threes. They don't attack the basket like that. No, that's not the case anymore. This new Knicks offense with Brunson running the point, they're actually, what are they, 8th or 9th? I wrote it down somewhere. Blah, blah, blah,
I
blah,
know
blah.
that Brunson is personally in like the 98th percentile of short mid-range shots, so he's always driving.
It's not just him, though. The whole offense has changed. I don't know. Oh, ninth. Here it is. So the Knicks are ninth in shot frequency at the rim over the last 2 weeks. So the Knicks offense plays right into the strength of the Hornets defense. And I mentioned that the Hornets, Terry Rozier and Oubre have sucked from 3-point, right? Yo, Charlotte is second in the NBA in shot frequency at the rim themselves. So they're driving, attacking the basket at a very high rate, and that's the Knicks' defensive weakness. They kind of remind me of the Jazz defense in recent years. Just get Rudy Gobert away from the basket, and you can get easy buckets on the Jazz. Same with the Knicks. Get Mitchell Robinson away from the rim, and you get easy baskets because Julius Randle doesn't play much defense. So, yeah, I'm taking the Hornets in Charlotte here. I hate that I have to fade my people, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give a pick on this game for a side, but I do have a prop bet that I like quite a bit. It's also at plus money, too. I'm only putting 0.75 units on this one, but Terry Rozier without LaMelo Ball, I'm going to take this guy's rebounds over until they stop giving me plus money for it because it's getting ridiculous. He's cashed his last 11 of 15 games without LaMelo on the glass, averaging 5.2 rebounds per game. Now he faces a Knicks defense that's allowing the second most per game to point guards over the last 30 days. And not only that, this is a Knicks defense that's allowed Rozier himself to cash his last 5 or 7 games against them, averaging 6.5 rebounds a game.
What's the total at? What's the total at? You didn't say.
Oh, it's 4.5 rebounds.
Okay. Go on.
And then in two lone games as a Hornet without LaMelo Ball, he has 6 and 7 rebounds against the Knicks. If you know LaMelo Ball, every time he faces the Knicks, he gets like 6, 7, or 8 rebounds. So I don't know if it's the way that these teams play, but the point guard is always eating on the boards. And at plus money, if you're going to give me that, I'm going to take it every time.
Cool. I actually like that. I might do a nice little SGP, Hornets money line, Rozier 6+ rebounds or something.
Well, you know what I like about it? Brunson drives to the rim a lot, so it's not like Rozier's going to be posted on the outside. He's going to be following him to the rim.
Yeah, I like that. I also like this live chat here. Like combing through the comments.
It's nice.
It's nice. All right, next game. Atlanta at Brooklyn, and let me copy and paste this, my bad.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Nets all the way, without a doubt. So Nets -7.5. Nets all the way here. I know this line is terrifyingly long. 7.5 is a lot of points. Let me just make sure it's still at 7.5. Yep, still 7.5. Okay. I also like the over at 230.5. Let me get that on there too. Over 230.5. All right. I have good reasonings for this one too. We actually talked about this one on the phone for a few minutes earlier. All right. Mm-hmm. So, first of all, DeJounte Murray has been the best player on the Hawks roster over the last few weeks, month. I mean, I think everyone can agree to that. I mean, he's been awesome, not just offensively. He's been a beast on the perimeter defensively. I'm pretty sure, isn't he like second in the NBA in steals or some crazy shit? He's good as hell as a defensive perimeter player for the Hawks. He is out. I think he's going to miss at least 2 weeks, reevaluated in 2 weeks, something like that. John Collins is still out. Now, DeAndre Hunter may play in this game, but I don't think he's going to, which means the Hawks are going to be without their 2, 3, and 4. Just Trae Young and Capella, that's the only 2 Atlanta Hawks starters that are going to be starting tonight if Hunter doesn't play. And if Hunter does play, he hasn't played in 2 weeks, so to expect him to come back and just be an instant sensation is instant game changer is probably a little unrealistic. Now, the Nets... because of all the bullshit we've been through with Kyrie Irving and just everything that is the Nets with Steve Nash and all that bullshit, the Nets are now healthy, and now it's really like dawning on people like, holy shit, this roster's really, really loaded. Everyone kind of started. I'm just going to name some players that are coming off the bench for the Nets tonight. These are not in the starting lineup. Seth Curry, Patty Mills, T.J. Warren, Joe Harris, Cam Thomas. That's 5 shooters coming off the bench against a team that is maybe missing their 3 starters. Like, who's going to play defense on the perimeter for this Hawks team against all these net shooters? And I just mentioned the bench players. I didn't even mention the starting lineup. The Hawks were already thin at wing before DeJounte got hurt. I think Brooklyn should shoot the Hawks right out of the gym here. Now, obviously, when the Hawks have the ball, the high screen with Trae Young and Clint Capella is going to work because it always works. It works on and anybody. They run that better than basically any offense in the NBA. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen out there in Cleveland. They're pretty good at it also. But Trae Young and Capella have been doing this for a couple years now, and they're as good as anyone. So they're going to score points, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Nick Claxton defensively trying to guard that. That being said, the Nets defense has been playing well. They're 11th in defensive efficiency in the last 2 weeks, and the NBA 11th. And even if the Hawks are able to score, can they keep up with this Brooklyn Nets team that should score 125 points in this game pretty easily? I can't get there without Murray. He's been the heart of the Hawks team. I mean, because he plays both sides. Trae Young's been distributing the ball, but we know that Trae Young doesn't play much defense. I know that the Nets have been winning a lot of games without covering spreads recently. I'm sure that scares some people off with this 7.5 number, but I think that's what the book's point is. Like, people are going to look at recent scores, see 7.5, and bet the Hawks. Good, let them. I like the Nets by double digits. Even if DeAndre Hunter ends up playing, I'm still on the Nets, but it'll probably either be just a half unit or I might leave it off the ticket. But I'm still on the Nets either way.
Yeah, so I'm on the same side you with there. I don't know why, that was insane. I'm on the same side with you there. Nets minus 7.5. The best defender on the Hawks, like by a mile, is Clint Capella. He's going to be defending the rim. Well, guess what? The Nets are 28th in offensive rim frequency. They don't even attack the rim. I don't know who's going to defend guys like KD, maybe Jalen Johnson, but honestly, you want Jalen Johnson scoring, not being that defensive presence. If he gets into foul trouble, then that leaves them even more vulnerable in terms of what forwards they have available. It's just like there's just too many things working against a Hawks team that I already hate betting on the road. You fade the Hawks on the road, you're going to be quite profitable. I'm going to fade them here again, even with the big number. The number is this big for a reason.
Yeah, agreed. Someone said Bobo going on a stretcher tonight. What the hell?
Why?
Yeah, what the hell? All right, next game. Oh, shit. Next game, Kings at Cavs. I
have a play I love this one.
I have the squarest play of all time that I don't love, but I'm pretty confident I'm on the right side with Cleveland here. So I'm on the Cavs. Yes, I know that everyone's on the Cavs. I get it. You don't have to let me know I'm being a public Pete here.
All right, public. And
the line movement is terrifying. So this line was Cleveland -6 last night. It's down to 3.5. It's despite the public being heavy on Cleveland. Absolute reverse line movement. Total bet the Kings type of situation. But how can we do that? The Cavs are 11-1 at home this year. Their only loss at home came without Jared Allen on the floor. They're 4-0-1 against the spread in their last 5 home games. Meanwhile, let's give some credit to the Kings. They've been playing great, but they're just 1-3 in their last 4 road games. They've been playing much better at home. So the fact that this game's in Cleveland means I'm like 70% leaning the Cavs before I even glance at any numbers. The Kings just beat the Cavs last month in Sacramento, too. So I like that I'm getting a little bit of a revenge factor there. I mean, I know it's Eastern Conference versus Western Conference. It's not anything close to a rivalry game. But I'm sure they haven't forgotten that this team just beat them a month ago. I know that a lot of people are riding that Sacramento offensive surge. That was like 2-3 weeks ago. If you remember, there was like a 2-3 week span where the Kings had the most efficient offense in the NBA. They were killing it. They hit a tough stretch of schedule, and their offense really has faded. They're down to 16th in offensive efficiency in the past 2 weeks. So this Kings team is not scoring at the rate that they were scoring earlier in the season at all. The only angle I could see to possibly explain this line movement, Donovan Mitchell is listed as questionable, so maybe the books know that he's not playing. Personally, I'm on the Cavs either way, though. Part of me wants him to be not playing, so then the line movement doesn't scare me as much. Even if Mitchell doesn't play, Cleveland still got Jared Allen defending the rim. Sacramento's going to be forced to take a lot of outside shots, and the Cavs are second in the NBA defending the three-point shot in the last 2 weeks. So the Kings have got to try to attack the basket and score on the Cavs defense in Cleveland, the best defense in the NBA right now, in my opinion. Not happening. I think the only shot that Cleveland loses this game is if Sacramento gets really hot from outside. And like I said, the Cavs have been elite at defending the three. So I'll take Cleveland.
So for this game, I don't like a side. I'm gonna go with the total. I like the under 222, and
I like
it's
that.
not 22 and a half.
I looked
I
at
like
the
it
under
quite a
too.
bit.
I looked at the under too.
Yeah, because if you look at the last 6 meetings between these teams, the under is 4-1-1. In the last 5 Kings road games, the under is 4-1, and the Cavs, I don't even need to tell you. I mean, the unders hit in 6 straight home games and their last 9 to 10 games overall. They are under machines. Now add on the fact that De'Aaron Fox has a lingering foot issue and is questionable. So even if he does play, he's going to be facing the number 1 defense against point guards. That doesn't spell a very good night for him. And then you have Donovan Mitchell, who did not participate in shoot-arounds this morning and is questionable. If you don't participate in shoot-arounds, it's not the best sign. I will go ahead and say that. As a result, this line moved down from 226.5 to 222. 4.5 points in less than 12 hours. If Fox is out, that's going to put Davion Mitchell on the court. What's his name? Off night. The guy will put the clamps on and help keep Garland in check. And then if Mitchell is out, well, that takes away the biggest offensive threat from Cleveland. That means Mobley and Allen are going to have to be very aggressive at the rim. And what that can do is that could get Domantas Sabonis in foul trouble, as he's not the greatest defender in the world. Usually his defense is fouling. So if he gets out of the game due to foul trouble, I mean, how are the Kings going to score buckets? I like the under here quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna right now, before I forget, I'm gonna add that to make sure it goes on the VIP. Because I was looking at the under and I didn't write it down. I like that side. You said it's at 222.5 now. Was that 222 earlier?
I think it's 222 firmly. I like said and a half for no reason. I don't know why I said that. It was 222.
It is 222, you freak. All right. Next game is Lakers at Philly. I don't know why. I'm excited. Of all the basketball on, I think this might get the main screen. I'm excited to watch this. LeBron. All right. So I am definitely on Philly here. And I know Philly hasn't given us much reason to say definitely for anything regarding the Sixers. All right, Sixers minus 4.5. Okay. So the Sixers have had 3 full days off. James Harden is back healthy. Joel Embiid is healthy. I know they took an ugly loss to Houston in Harden's first game back. But it was his first game in a month and a half? He was rusty as hell. He went 4 of 19 from the floor. Then he gets 3 days off. Probably got to participate in some practice, get his legs back, or whatever the hell he does. I like Harden to have a good game here. I think the Philadelphia 76ers offense is going to return. This is a nationally televised game. It's on ESPN, a.k.a. the place where the Lakers always seem to get exposed. I mean, I don't know if there's any numbers to back that up, but I feel like that always happens. Whenever the Lakers get a glimmer of hope, they get a big game on ESPN against, the Bucks or the Sixers or, a big-name team, and then by the end of the game, we're all like, oh, no, they still suck. And it's a harsh reminder that the Lakers are still not an elite team. So I like that angle for the Sixers, that it's a primetime nationally televised game. The Lakers' offensive shot numbers over the past 2 weeks look pretty on par with what we expect from the Lakers. They attack the basket a lot. Now, early in the season, and this is what Prop Beaver's going to tell you, this is where he's wrong. Early in the season, Philly was getting exposed under the basket. If you look back, I was talking about it on YouTube. 76ers had one of the worst defenses at the rim in the NBA early in the season. But actually, the numbers in the last 2 weeks have completely flipped. Philly is 12th in defensive efficiency at the rim. Now, 12th is nothing to go running home to, but I mean, this team was 29th when we're talking October and November basketball. So they're actually doing a decent job protecting the rim. Actually, Philadelphia's weakness, once again, it's been flip-flop, recently has been defending the 3 ball. And what's one thing we know the Lakers do not do is shoot the 3. I think the Lakers are going to have to hit 3-point shots at 40% or more to win this game. And I will fade that any day of the week. So I'm on Philly.
Yeah, so I'll give you some trends. They all lean towards Philly. They're 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 against the Lakers. They've covered 4 straight at home against LA. And they're 7-2-1 against the spread in their last 10 home games. Even the Sharps have moved this from 2.5 to 5.5 on some books, and I can't do it. I can't do it. The 76ers rely too much on the free throw. They've been in the top 5 of free throw rate going back to last season, and now they face the Lakers, who, guess what? They're second in defensive free throw rate. They don't give up free baskets. I mean, they give free baskets in other ways, trust me, but not in terms of the free throw line. And on top of that, the Lakers can't shoot a jump shot for jack shit, but what can they do quite well? Attack the rim. Yes, lately the 76ers have been protecting the rim well, but let me ask you something. Have they lately faced a threat like Anthony Davis, who's going out there nightly and dropping 40 and 17? I don't know. Anthony Davis is a man unhinged, and the last time we saw him face Joel Embiid, he utterly bitched his ass. So I don't know. I mean, I was with taking the Sixers at like 2.5, 3.5. But if you're gonna give me like 5.5 points, which it's up to right now in some books, and I'm gonna take the 5.5. Anything below 5, I wouldn't, but 5.5 points. I mean, I think the Lakers could keep this somewhat competitive.
Lakers at 5 or more. Thank you for making me type that weird fucking shit.
There you go, boof.
Lakers at 5 or more. All right. So a disagreement there. Next game, Pistons at Memphis. This was a cool one to cap. Hold on one sec. Some of the trends here are wild.
Crazy.
Out, right?
They are crazy, the trends.
I know. So give me the 10.5 points.
Wow. Really?
Check this out. So these are wild what I was looking at. So don't look now, but the Detroit Pistons are 9-4 against the spread in their last 13. They've also covered 6 in a row on the road. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Detroit Pistons are 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 road games. Basically, since Cade Cunningham went down, the Pistons are just cover machines. They kind of remind me of Oklahoma City from last year because they're losing a lot of basketball games, and nobody's noticing that they just continue to cover. You know, the Pistons are now 14-11-2 against the spread on the season. That's 8th best in the NBA. They were all the way towards the bottom a month ago. Now, here's where it gets confusing, because to be fair, you don't want to know who else is covering spreads at a dangerous pace. The Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis is 7-3 against the spread in their last 10, 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 home games, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 home games. So the Grizzlies at home and the Pistons on the road have both been 2 of the hottest tickets to be holding in NBA betting recently. Something has to give here. It's hard to find mismatches. If this line was at 3.5, we could look at some stuff. But at 10.5, it's like you want to look, okay, let's look at the turnover numbers. Okay, edge to Memphis. Well, duh, they're laying 10.5 points. It's a lot harder to find mismatches when you're dealing with a huge line. Memphis during this hot streak that they've been on against the spread has been dominating the glass. They're second in offensive rebounding rate and third in defensive ORB rate. This is arguably the hottest rebounding team in the NBA right now. They just played Detroit last week. They out-rebounded the Pistons, and Steven Adams didn't even play in the game. Who's clearly there. Like, that's bad. But, that being said, Steven Adams questionable to play tonight. Let me see if there's an update on that. Detroit. Steven Adams, still game time decision. So that 10.5 points, the Grizzlies have been covering spreads by cleaning the glass. If Steven Adams doesn't play, by the way, when these two teams played last week, Detroit covered. So I'm taking the Pistons. Give me the 10.5. The red-hot Pistons that just continue to cover.
Yes, they covered that number, but that was in Detroit. The Grizzlies aren't too hot on the road, but at home, as you said, they're 8-2 against spread in their last 10. Give me the Grizzlies minus 10.5. I think that the Grizzlies are going to wipe their ass with this sorry-ass team. Now, if we look at the money, right, nearly every goddamn cent is on the Pistons plus 10.5. Where's the line movement? There is none. No line movement. They're just collecting money. They're taking more and more money, more and more charitable donations, and they're not even moving the line. From a prop perspective, many of the lines for the Pistons are weird. So I'm getting the sense that they're going to struggle here offensively. And on top of that, if we're just looking at the history of this matchup, the Pistons have failed to cover in their last 8 of 9 games against the Grizzlies. They do not play well against this team from Memphis. And here's what the thing that I think is the biggest point here. So you said that when they didn't get rid of Cade Cunningham, he got injured. So when he left for injury, they basically started covering spreads. Well, another thing they started doing is stopped shooting at the rim, which is not great because one would think that the Memphis Grizzlies are the strong rim team, but they're actually 28th in efficiency over the last month. Now, here's the things that comes into play. The Pistons are 4th in offensive mid-frequency without Cade Cunningham, but the Grizzlies allow the 8th fewest shots from mid-range and sit 2nd lowest in efficiency allowed to these shots over the last 30 days. I don't think the Pistons are going to be able to do anything offensively, and they don't have anybody who could stop Ja Morant. So give me the Grizzlies all day.
You mean scrub Morant? I'm scared of freaking Ja Morant.
You mean bad cover this big ass spread, Morant? Yeah.
Nah. Memphis wins 111-105. In my cover.
Nope. Grizzlies win 2,000. Pistons 5.
All right. Suns at Pelicans next. I'm on Phoenix here, but I'm not kicking down any doors to take them. Pelicans have been red hot, and they're playing. This is the battle for the 1 seed in the Western Conference here. And I know a lot of people are playing the Pelicans like, oh, New Orleans is taking over. They battled them in the playoffs last year, and they did. They did. That turned out to be an awesome series that nobody was expecting much out of. And later in the season, when things get healthier for New Orleans, I would be down to back this New Orleans team against this Suns team. But there's too many things. No Brandon Ingram and no Herb Jones. That hurts. It just makes me really, really hesitate to put some money on this Pelicans team. The Suns have lost 2 straight, including a humiliating loss to the Boston Celtics. And I know not everyone watched that. I watched every play, every minute of that game, and it was just as embarrassing as the score indicated. So we know that the Pelicans are not afraid of this Suns team. They're not going to be intimidated. But still, this Phoenix team is still one of the best coached teams in the NBA with the point guard that probably has the highest basketball IQ of anyone in the NBA, at least any point guard. All the Suns do is get open looks. The Pelicans may be playing the best defense in the NBA right now. They really might be. But what's the best way to beat an elite defense? Ball movement. And that's exactly what the Phoenix Suns do. With the exception of maybe a little Devin Booker, everyone on that offense is very unselfish with the basketball. On defense, I think Monty Williams is just going to collapse the paint and make New Orleans beat them from the outside. Keep in mind, like I said, there's no Brandon Ingram, there's no Herb Jones. Most of the offensive production for New Orleans has come from Jonas Valanciunas and Zion Williamson. Well, if Phoenix is going to roll extra coverage down low, who's going to beat him from the outside? CJ McCollum, he's been playing well, but he's shooting just 37.7% from the floor in the last 10 games. He's not shooting the ball well. I don't trust New Orleans that we're going to see production from the New Orleans Pelicans on the offensive side of the ball on the perimeter. And I think Monty Williams knows that, and the Phoenix Suns knows that. So I think the Suns will struggle to score against this red-hot Pelicans defense, but I'm betting the Suns. I'm betting Phoenix's defense to take over and win this.
Yeah, so I don't really have much to add on to that. I like your pick. I'm going to be riding with the Suns -1.5. The only thing I would say is that Herb Jones, I don't know if his importance in that playoff series could be, I don't know, amplified anymore. He was fantastic during that series defensively, and without him guarding Booker, it's just, I don't know who on earth is going to guard Devin Booker. That's a serious question. And, his last 2 road games haven't been the best, but if you look at Devin Booker going back to last season, this guy goes off on the road, not at home. On the road is where you see Devin Booker at his best. Now he's going to be facing this Pelicans team with, I don't know, Dyson Daniels covering him. I mean, come on, get the hell out of here. I think Zion Williamson will likely abuse the Suns in the paint, but I don't know how they're going to stop the Suns offense. Unless the Suns are really this bad, unless they are actually the team that is getting their shit beat in on national television twice in a row, then maybe they won't cover this number, but I think they do. I think they win this game. Give me the Suns.
Yeah, and to answer one of the comments, Alvarado's still listed as a game time decision. When I saw the comment, I went and checked. Still no update on that as far as I can see.
That's another huge one because he was another one that was a playoff hero. If he doesn't play, I mean, who's going to guard Chris Paul?
He was a beast.
I don't know.
Yep. All right, so this next game, I'm going to let you take it. I'm on Minnesota, plus 1.5. So you know what? Let me put my pick up. But AJ really likes the. What were you saying?
I like Rudy Gobert. I like Rudy Gobert over 13.5 rebounds. This is the Rudy Gobert legacy game. Now, I normally would bet his points and rebounds in a revenge scenario because they're usually extra aggressive in terms of their shooting. But the problem is that it's not going to be Kelly Olynyk at the 5 for this game. It's going to be Walker Kessler. And if you look at defensive Raptor, Walker Kessler has actually been quite good at defending the rim. And the Jazz as a whole have been quite good at defending the rim. We saw Rudy Gobert face him last time. He played 38 minutes and only had 9 points. But the boards. He had 23 rebounds in that game, and that is what I'm looking for. This Utah Jazz team allows the 3rd most rebounds to opposing centers, and this season, with 31-plus minutes against teams in the bottom 10 of rebounds allowed to centers, he is 6-0 to the number, averaging 19 rebounds per game. I think he's going to play 31-plus against this Jazz team here, considering it's a revenge game, considering that the last game he just played in, he looked phenomenal. With Walker Kessler on the floor, this makes a guy who already had 23 rebounds likely to get even more rebounds because he doesn't have to worry about defending Olynyk on the outside. I think there's crazy amounts of value on here. There's a reason that the books have started bigging this up quite dramatically. I got Rudy Gobert over 13.5 rebounds, minus 124. It's time for the boy to eat on the boards.
Over 13.5. You're a beast for that. I'll tell it because I can tell by the way you're talking that's one of your favorites. Is this one? Did you put this one on Twitter?
Yeah. Yes. This is probably my favorite of the Twitter plays today. This is the legacy spot for Gobert. You got
legacy spot. All right, hold on. Let me add this to the VIP. His favorite,
a literal legacy spot. If he can't get 14 boards, he's bitch made.
14 is a lot of boards, but I mean, usually when it's a high number, it's high for a reason. So,
I mean, what I love too is the fact that both these teams are top 7 in pace. So that only helps.
Oh hell yeah, 13.5. Jesus. Okay, I added that. Okay, so the last game I don't have graphics for. I only have 9 templates made, so I don't have a 10th one. It's also my bet of the day. So should I say it? Whatever. I'm on Dallas for the last game, and I think it's going to be the bet of the day. I like Dallas, but I don't have my stuff to do a live thing on it. So, you said
I have a very nice bet for this game that I love quite a bit, and I'm going to post it as a prop play. It's going to be my first team prop play ever, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to go with the Bucks under 112.5 points in terms of their team total, and here's the reason why. Dallas is awful on the road. I mean, defensively, they're 21st in points of possession, 27th in effective field goal percentage. It's not good. But at home, that skyrockets to 5th in points of possession and 7th in efficient field goal percentage. Meanwhile, the Bucks at home are one of the best offenses in the league, sitting 5th in points of possession, 10th in effective field goal percentage. But they're on the road in this one. When they're on the road, they are the worst offense in the NBA from an efficiency standpoint, 30th in points of possession and 26th in effective field goal percentage. As a result, the Bucks have gone under their team total in 7 of 9 road games. And if we look at Dallas, they've held their opponents, the last 10, 11 of them, under this line, with the only hit being by a hook. Now take into account that the Bucks are 1-4 to the team total in their last 5 against Dallas, and at Dallas in their last 2 meetings, they scored 101 and 102 points. That's 10 points below our total. After dropping 224 on Dallas at home earlier this season, I think that we're getting a nice spot here to go under. Give me those Bucks under 112.5 points tonight.
Yeah, was 112. I typed in 122 on the screen. Yeah, I love the Dallas defense at home. I loved them at home last year too. Sorry about that, VIPs. You know I usually don't give out the bet of the day on the live show, especially when the bet of the day's been hot as hell too. Even in the NBA when we're having losing nights, the bet of the day's hitting. So sorry about that. You know what? There's a different one that I have for the bet of the day, and I'll make that the bet of the day for you guys. So. Sorry that I didn't have the graphics ready. Like I said, it's my first time using this OBS software. But I hope everything, I'm going to go back and rewatch it later to see how it came out. But it sounds like no one's talking about the sound or it's skipping or anything.
No,
So
which is nice.
it seems like it might have rolled smoothly. So it looks like our days of Wirecast are officially over. we are officially
God, man.
we are officially an OBS company now. As always, thanks everyone for watching. Sunday morning at 10 a.m. we'll be back with the live show. Sean will probably be with us. So yeah, let's have a great Friday night. No college football tomorrow, but there's a ton of college basketball. There's like 180 games, bunch of ranked games. College basketball Saturdays officially start, and they're awesome. So obviously, I haven't been into the college basketball much. I've been tailing Toast and Sean, but I'm going to cap some games late tonight while I'm watching the NBA games. I'm going to be capping some college basketball, and I'm thinking me and Toast might do like a Spaces in the morning for some college basketball, just so I can talk shit to him, tell him he sucks, stuff like that. All right, thanks everyone for watching, and hit me up on Twitter if you need anything. Let's have a good night.
Peace out, Chiefs. Let's win some bets.